Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today you're joining us as we navigate the landscape of code editors specifically for your Mac in 2025.
Right.
Maybe you're on the verge of a new coding adventure, thinking about a fresh take on your workflow, or, perhaps your curiosity about the best tools has just been piqued.
Yeah, happens to all of us.
We've sifted through a recent Blackdown blog post, dived into some pretty vibrant Reddit discussions,
Yeah.
and considered expert viewpoints to bring you a clear understanding of what's out there.
That's right. Whether your projects involve the elegance of Python, the dynamism of Ruby, or, say, the robustness of PHP, the Mac has really become a powerful ally for developers.
It really has.
And with the versatility to even run Linux and Windows these days, the platform offers incredible flexibility. At the core of your daily coding life, though, is the code editor. That's the tool that brings order to your code, highlighting its structure and, pointing out potential pitfalls before they become big problems.
Absolutely. Think of a quality code editor as your ultimate coding command center, really. It brings clarity with color-coded syntax, maintains order with automatic indentation, and acts as sort of an early warning system for errors.
Like a spell checker for code.
Exactly. And beyond that, features like intelligent auto-completion, swift project navigation, and reusable code snippets. They can really unlock new levels of productivity for you.
Definitely save a lot of typing.
So our goal in this deep dive is basically to extract the most valuable insights about the top Mac code editors, helping you cut through the noise and identify the tools that could be, well, the perfect fit for your unique needs.
Okay, so maybe let's lay the groundwork first. Looking at the fundamental qualities Blackdown highlighted for a Mac code editor.
Good idea.
We're talking about features like color-coded syntax highlighting, which at its heart just makes code easier for us humans to actually read.
Crucial.
Then there's automated indentation, keeping our code structure neat and logical. Error-checking capabilities act like that real-time spell check we mentioned.
Catches those typos.
Right. Auto-completing suggested code can save you countless keystrokes. Efficient code file navigation is key for getting around larger projects quickly. And finally, code snippets offering handy shortcuts for frequently used code patterns.
Yeah, boilerplate stuff.
Exactly. These are really the essential building blocks for a positive coding experience, I'd say.
Okay, let's unpack this then by exploring Blackdown's top 7 code editors for Mac in 2025. First up is Komodo IDE.
Komodo.
This one's quite versatile, supporting languages like Ruby, PHP, Go, Python, and, well, more. What's interesting here is its emphasis on team collaboration, including version control and even simultaneous real-time code editing. It also packs in graphical debugging tools, unit testing features, and a database explorer.
So pretty feature-rich.
It sounds like for teams constantly integrating code, Komodo IDE's real-time collaboration could really streamline those workflows. And it's worth noting there's a free community edition alongside their paid professional versions.
Yeah, what's fascinating about Komodo IDE is its sort of comprehensive, all-in-one nature, particularly geared towards those team settings.
Right.
The integrated debugging and the real-time collaboration directly address the complexities of larger projects where, multiple developers are working on the same code base simultaneously.
Yeah, avoid stepping on toes.
Exactly. And the ability to work across different languages within a single environment is also a significant advantage for people who aren't tied to just one tech stack.
Good point. Next on Blackdown's list is the incredibly popular VS Code.
Yes. Visual Studio Code.
This editor boasts support for an extensive range of languages. I mean, C++, Play, JavaScript, Python, Java, tons more.
Pretty much everything.
Key features include smart code completion, built-in debugging tools, seamless Git integration, a vast marketplace of extensions to add all sorts of functionality,
That's a big one.
and a handy integrated terminal. And perhaps, best of all for many, it's free and open source. Makes it a go-to choice for everyone from individual developers to larger organizations.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, VS Code's widespread adoption really speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does.
Its open source foundation has cultivated this thriving community that's constantly developing and refining extensions.
Yeah, there's an extension for everything.
Pretty much. This means you can really tailor it to your specific workflow. That combination of robust built-in features and its incredible adaptability through extensions is a core reason for its popularity across so many different areas of development.
Moving along, we have Sublime Text.
Sublime, yeah. A classic.
This editor has a long-standing reputation for its speed and a really clean, efficient interface. It handles practically all major programming languages.
Very lightweight, generally.
Standout features include go-to-anything for incredibly quick navigation within your project, the ability to make multiple selections simultaneously for efficient editing,
Which is super handy.
split editing layouts, instant project switching, and it's just generally known for being highly optimized for performance. You can try it out for free, though a license is required for continued use.
Right, the nag screen.
Blackdown suggests it's a strong contender if speed and a polished user experience are high on your list. If you've ever been slowed down by sluggish editors with large files, Sublime Text performance could be a real game changer.
Yeah, what's interesting about Sublime Text is its enduring focus on performance, especially when you're dealing with like really large code bases or files. The go-to-anything feature really embodies its dedication to an efficient workflow. While it's a paid option, its speed and its kind of minimalist yet powerful design have earned it a very loyal following over the years. Still very popular.
Then there's Atom. Blackdown playfully calls it the hackable text editor for the 21st century, originally developed by GitHub.
Adam, yeah.
Customization is the name of the game here. Built-in file system browser, the teletype feature for collaborative coding, customizable themes, a built-in package manager, integrated Git and GitHub support.
Very extensible, like VS Code in some ways.
Right. Being free and open source, it was popular for team projects and developers who love to tinker. However, and this is an important heads up, a commenter named Nikolai on the Blackdown blog mentioned that Atom's development was actually discontinued back in 2022.
Okay. That's key info.
Yeah, with Zed and Pulsar emerging as potential successors.
Right. This brings up a crucial point, doesn't it, about the long-term viability and community backing of any software we rely on.
Definitely.
While Atom was praised for its adaptability and collaborative features, the end of active development is definitely something to weigh if you're looking for a long-term solution.
Sure.
The fact that community-driven projects like Pulsar have sprung up shows there's still significant value in Atom's core design, though. People liked it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next up is Coda. Blackdown describes this as an all-in-one solution tailored for web developers, combining text editing with live previewing and debugging.
So web-focused specifically.
Exactly. Supports web-centric languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. Key features, code folding, a smart spell checker, built-in MySQL editor.
Oh, interesting. Database integration.
An integrated terminal, and local indexing for quick searching. It's a paid app with a free trial. Blackdown suggests it's particularly useful for web devs working often with remote servers.
Makes sense.
However, similar story to Atom. Nikolai on the blog also noted that Coda has been discontinued.
Oh, another one.
Yeah. Nova is apparently its successor from the same company, Panic.
Okay. This really illustrates the dynamic nature of the software dev landscape, huh? Tools come and go.
It really does.
While Coda offered a compelling integrated experience for web developers, its discontinuation highlights the importance of considering, well, ongoing support and future development plans for any tool you choose.
Good point. Need to look ahead.
So Nova, as its successor, would be the one to watch in this category if you're looking for that kind of integrated web dev environment.
Got it. Following Coda is Espresso, an editor designed specifically for macOS, focusing on streamlining web development.
Another Mac-only one?
Yep. Supports HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and more. Standout features include live styling, see your CSS changes in real time.
Oh, nice for front end.
X-ray layout debugging for inspecting page structure, reusable snippets, server sync capabilities, and various plugins. Paid with a free trial aimed at front-end developers and designers.
Yeah, Espresso's specific focus on front end with features like live styling and visual debugging aids directly caters to the needs of web designers and developers who need that immediate visual feedback.
Right, seeing changes live.
Its macOS exclusivity might be a consideration for some, but it also allows for potentially tighter integration with the OS itself.
True. Finally, Blackdown includes Microsoft Visual Studio in their list. Now, this seems to have a slight overlap or maybe confusion with what we discussed earlier.
With VS Code.
Exactly. Because the overview mentioned VS Code, which is a Microsoft product, and is free and open source. The features listed here, code refactoring, live share collaboration, intelligent code completion, robust debugging, extensive extension support, they align perfectly with VS Code.
Yeah, sounds exactly like VS Code.
Blackdown suggests it's an excellent choice for those who want a feature-rich environment backed by a large community.
So it seems pretty clear the Microsoft Visual Studio entry is likely referring to VS Code, given the features and the free open source nature.
Agree.
Which just reinforces VS Code's position as this powerful, versatile editor with a strong community, offering a huge range of features for many different programming tasks.
All right, so that gives us a solid foundation from Blackdown's perspective. But let's turn our attention to what the actual developer community is saying.
Yeah, the Reddit trenches.
We dove into a Reddit thread titled Best Code Editor in 2025 in the Ruby on Rails subreddit. Interestingly, a user named IlFrance mentioned recently switching to Zed and really enjoying it.
Zed, okay, newer name.
And another user, AnnW8, even provided a helpful link on how to set it up specifically for Ruby using the Ruby LSP. So Zed seems to be gaining some positive buzz, especially within the Rails community.
That's insightful, getting that real-time feedback from developers in the field.
Totally.
The specific mention of Zed and setup instructions for Rails indicate it's not just, a concept, but developers are actively adopting it and sharing tips. Highlights how quickly new editors can emerge and grab interest.
Absolutely. We also saw strong endorsements for RubyMine, especially among Ruby developers, highlighted by users RailJavis and Raging Bearfish.
Ah, the specialized IDE.
Right. They pointed out features like its excellent code browsing, integrated database manager, powerful debugger, useful refactoring tools, and the overall batteries included feeling.
Meaning it has most of what you need built right in.
Exactly. The trade-offs mentioned were that it can be more resource-intensive than some others, and it is a paid product.
Right. JetBrains IDEs tend to be heavier.
But for those tired of configuring a million extensions, RubyMine's cohesive, ready-to-go Ruby dev environment seems to be a major draw.
Yeah, this really emphasizes the value that dedicated IDEs like RubyMine offer for specific languages. The deep integration of features specifically tailored for Ruby can lead to significant productivity gains, even if it comes with higher resource use and a cost. That batteries included aspect saves a lot of setup time.
We also saw mentions of NeoVim for those who really value a keyboard-centric workflow.
The Vim descendants.
Often used with a language server protocol, or LSP like Solograph, as user Savannah Zilliga pointed out.
Right, LSPs are huge now for adding smarts to editors.
And Sublime Text, as noted by Armahillo, continues to be a favorite for many due to its speed and ability to handle really large code files efficiently, still holding its own.
These mentions really underscore the diverse preferences out there, don't they? NeoVim appeals to the keyboard ninjas, the customization crowd.
Totally.
Sublime Text maintains its value for raw speed and reliability. Different strokes.
Then there's Cursor, which user Ardbay123 mentioned switching to. It's an interesting one, an AI-powered editor.
Ooh, AI in the editor, that's the new frontier?
Though the user noted some reservations about its underlying reliance on the VS Code ecosystem. And going back to Adam, user Purple is Masculine pointed out that since GitHub discontinued it, it's now being maintained as a community project called Pulsar.
Ah, Pulsar. Right, the community fork.
Finally, Financial Put 6505 simply stated it's obviously Emacs, highlighting the enduring, passionate following of this highly customizable editor.
Can't forget Emacs.
Which was even mentioned by Oyster Sauce 8 as being the editor of choice for Ruby's creator Mats.
Wow, okay. High praise. These varied perspectives really highlight that there's no single best solution. AI editors like Cursor are emerging. Community efforts like Pulsar show user dedication.
Right.
And the continued strong following of Emacs is a testament to the power of deep customization for those willing to invest the time.
Definitely a time investment there. Now, the Blackdown blog also offered some valuable tips on optimizing your Mac, specifically for development.
Oh yeah, beyond just the editor itself.
Right. Things that can enhance your coding experience regardless of the editor. Suggestions like disabling Spotlight to free up resources, actively managing memory with Activity Monitor,
Keeping an eye on RAM hogs.
making good use of terminal commands, adjusting visual effects for better performance, configuring custom keyboard shortcuts for speed,
Muscle memory.
leveraging virtual machines for different environments, and consistently using version control like Git. Pretty solid advice all around for Mac developers.
Yeah, these are all excellent practical recommendations for a smooth dev environment on macOS. Optimizing your system, using the terminal effectively, version control fundamental best practices that complement any editor.
Okay, let's dive a bit deeper now, specifically into using VS Code for Ruby and Rails development, drawing from Christian Toscano's blog.
Ah, the VS Code setup specifics.
He discusses why VS Code is so popular and shares his initial impressions compared to something like RubyMine. Then he highlights a number of key extensions for enhancing the Ruby and Rails experience in VS Code.
This is where it gets really practical, right? How to tailor that general editor.
Exactly. Seeing how you can take VS Code and make it really good for a specific language and framework, extensions are the key, bridging that gap.
Totally. So Toscano first recommends an extension called Copy Ruby Reference. Simplifies copying full class and module names, small thing, but useful.
Little time savers add up.
Then he highlights Ruby LSP. Importantly, as of late 2024, this has become the officially recommended Ruby language server extension for VS Code.
Okay, good to know the official one.
Yeah. Offers easy installation, can potentially replace Rubocop for formatting and style checks, supports Urban V for managing Ruby versions.
Which is crucial for different projects.
Definitely. It's generally faster than the older Ruby extension, provides debugging capabilities, and even has extensible features for Rails and RSpec. He specifically notes significant improvements in 2024.
Sounds like a must-have for Ruby and VS Code now.
Pretty much. Now, for those who might still be using it or finding older guides, Toscano also mentions Solograph as a still viable, though now considered legacy option.
Okay, the previous contender.
Right. For providing IntelliSense that smart code completion and inline documentation, he gives setup tips. Install the gem, configure VS Code settings.
Good to have option.
He also recommends Endwise handy extension, automatically adds those end statements in Ruby.
Oh, I need that one.
Ruby interpolation autocomplete helps insert hashtag and strings, though he notes a potential conflict with Vim extensions.
Okay, watch out for conflicts.
And Rails schema and Rails DB schema. These give useful insights into your database structure right in the sidebar and offer IntelliSense for columns plus navigation to your schema.rb.
Very useful for Rails devs.
Yeah, it's helpful seeing both the current recommendation, Ruby LSP, and the alternative, Solograph. Those smaller extensions like Endwise, Ruby Interpolation Autocomplete, they address specific coding pain points, make writing Ruby more fluid.
Smooths out the rough edges.
And for Rails, having those database schema insights right there streamlines workflows involving the database a lot.
Toscano keeps going. Recommends color tabs. Lets you color code editor tabs based on regex. Like, make all your spec.rb test files green.
Oh, neat visual cue.
Switch to test is another productivity booster. Quickly create and jump between source and test files. He gives an RSpec config example, too.
Nice. Toggling between code and tests is constant.
Bust a gem, more advanced, lets you step into the source code of gems you're using. Invaluable for debugging tricky issues, though needs a one-time setup with Ripper tags.
Ah, yeah, diving into dependencies. Powerful.
Mogami checks for latest gem versions, gives color codes. Green up to date, yellow newer available, red way behind.
Keeps your dependencies in check.
Highlight lets you emphasize specific code snippets, useful for Ruby syntax and ERB views, for example. For front-end and Rails, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense, auto-completion, hover info for Tailwind classes.
Essential if you're using Tailwind.
And he shares config settings for .rb files and Rails content tag. Finally, Rails open partials. Click to open Rails partials. Mentions a potential conflict with Solograph, though.
Wow, that's a detailed rundown. Really showcases the power and flexibility of VS Code's extensions.
Right.
Each one targets a very specific part of the Ruby Rails workflow. And the fact that he gives config details makes it super practical for anyone setting up VS Code for Rails. The level of customization is pretty remarkable.
Toscano also shares some key VS Code settings that help. One is enabling sticky scroll.
Sticky scroll? What's that?
It keeps the names of classes and methods visible at the top of your editor as you scroll down long files. Improves context.
Oh, I like that. Stops you getting lost.
Another is enabling Emmet autocomplete within .rb files via JSON config. Speeds up HTML generation in views a lot.
Emmet is amazing for HTML. Good tip.
He even includes a helpful bash alias using FDF to quickly find Rails routes from your terminal.
Nice little command line helpers. These are the kinds of small tweaks that really refine the developer experience, aren't they? Totally.
Sticky scroll makes navigating big files easier. Emmet in ERB reduces typing. Those command line shortcuts save valuable seconds all day.
Circling back to RubyMine now. That Reddit discussion in Ruby highlighted some specific features users find indispensable.
Yeah, the things that make it worth the price for some.
Like a robust declaration usage finder, easily see where code is defined and used. Assisted refactorings to safely restructure code.
Refactoring tools are huge in IDEs.
An integrated test runner run tests without leaving the editor. Scratch files for quick experiments or notes.
Oh yeah, Scratch files are great.
Direct connection to database servers to run queries, manage data. a local history feature that automatically tracks file changes, letting you easily revert.
Saved me more than once.
And powerful search, with results opening in multiple windows for better organization.
These features really underscore RubyMine's strength as that comprehensive Ruby-specific IDE.
It's all in one place. Exactly. The tight integration of these tools testing, database, local history provides a very streamlined workflow. Often eliminates needing separate apps or configuring tons of extensions.
Makes sense. Now, for Sublime Text users in the Ruby world, a brief Sublime forum discussion mentioned a few useful plugins.
Keeping Sublime relevant for Ruby.
Yeah. Better RSpec for enhanced RSpec support, LSP for language server protocol integration, like Solargraph, Sublime Linter for general linting, and Sublime Linter Rubocop, specifically for Ruby style.
The essentials, basically.
The user also rightly pointed out, plugin selection is very personal, encouraging exploration based on individual needs.
Yeah, that highlights the plugin-based approach of lighter editors like Sublime. Maybe not as much built in as an IDE.
Right.
But the plugin ecosystems let you add precisely what you need for your workflow. Those mentioned cover key areas: testing, language intelligence, code quality.
Finally, let's touch on the highly customizable editors, Emacs and Vim for Ruby Dev. John Hanlon's blog from 2023 detailed his Emacs setup.
The deep end of customization.
Seriously. Using Rootless Podman and Podman Compose for container integration, as Doof and JNUDRM for versions and environment variables, configuring Solargraph LSP with Bundler.
Okay, that's intricate.
Integrating RSpec testing within Podman Compose, using a just file, and justle.il in Emacs for tasks, Eagle Matchit plus Ruby configs for Vim-style navigation.
So Vim inside Emacs, essentially.
Setting up a Rails console REPL inside a container, a custom transient pop-up for Ruby refactoring actions, including LSP rename,
Wow.
and even clickable JRA bug references directly in Emacs. It's a clear demo of Emacs's incredible depth.
Emacs, as this beautifully illustrates, offers an exceptionally flexible, powerful environment for Ruby. However, it's important to acknowledge achieving that level of integration often requires a significant investment of time and effort in configuration and learning.
Oh yeah, steep curve.
The sheer breadth of integration shown in containers, custom refactoring tools, highlights its potential for those willing to really dive in.
On the Vim front, the SpaceVim configuration offers a more streamlined approach for Ruby.
SpaceVim, yeah, one of the pre-configured setups.
By enabling the langtag Ruby layer, you get code completion via Solargraph, using the Coq plugin, syntax linting with Rubocop via checkers layer and Neomake.
So the core stuff is easier to set up.
Quickly jumping to test files, using a .projectult.json config, running code directly, code formatting with Rufo, and REPL support with Herb.
Okay, that's more approachable.
It demonstrates how even traditionally minimalist editors can become highly capable Ruby environments with the right configurations.
Yeah, Vim and NeoVim, especially with distributions like SpaceVim, offer that highly efficient keyboard-centric approach. Integrating tools like Solargraph and Rubocop, plus features for testing and REPLs, shows our continued relevance for serious Ruby work.
So as we bring this deep dive into Mac code editors for CUM25 to a close, wow, we've looked at a really impressive range of options.
Definitely a lot out there.
VS Code stands out for its incredible flexibility, that massive extension ecosystem. RubyMine offers a comprehensive Ruby-focused experience right out of the box.
The specialist versus the generalist? Kind of.
Sublime Text continues to be a top pick for speed and elegant design. And for those who thrive on customization, Emacs and Vim offer just unparalleled levels of control.
We've also seen how the landscape is constantly evolving, right? Newer editors like Zed gaining traction, the community rallying around Pulsar to keep Atom's spirit alive.
Yeah, it's not static.
This constant innovation means developers have more choices than ever, and these tools keep adapting to our changing needs.
And the key takeaway for you, our listener, is that there really is no single best code editor. It's just not that simple.
Nope. Highly subjective.
The ideal choice is deeply personal. It hinges on your individual requirements, the specific types of projects you work on, your own preferences, mouse versus keyboard, customization versus out-of-the-box, performance versus features.
All those trade-offs.
Exactly.
Ultimately, the most effective way for you to find the right editor is, well, to get hands-on with some of these options.
Try them out.
Take advantage of free trials, open-source options, explore their key features, experiment with relevant extensions, see which one feels most intuitive to you and helps you be more productive.
So as you ponder your next coding environment, maybe consider this. Thinking about your current projects, your typical way of working, which of these editors or specific features really sparks your interest the most?
What jumped out at you?
Yeah, what seems like it could genuinely improve your workflow? Or maybe flip it. What are the absolute must-have features for you in an editor? The things that would have the biggest positive impact on your day-to-day coding productivity.
Good questions to ask yourself.
Definitely questions worth exploring further on your own. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.